It's that time again. My Doberman puppy is, well, not much of a puppy anymore. He's 8 months old, and it's time to see how this guy has been progressing. As you guys know, I've been keeping you as updated as possible with my buddy Arlo here. But before we jump into it, I want to take a moment to invite you to hit that subscribe button down below and a little bell icon next to it. That way you'll be notified next time I upload a video with me and Arlo here, and you can keep updates on Arlo easier that way, and also we can keep learning about the Doberman breed in general together. So let's jump into the down and dirty details now that my buddy Arlo is 8 months old. Arlo here seems to be getting bigger by the day, and we're having to constantly adjust his food just to make sure that we keep giving him the right amount and he's not getting overweight or underweight. We're really watching that stomach tuck underneath him to make sure his stomach stays kind of tucked up tight, but it's not getting too bad where we need to feed him more. We're also watching him from the side too and really doing our best to keep him on a balanced diet with the correct amount of food. But I think it's going really good. I think physically he's progressing really well, but let's jump into some of the more interesting stuff about how this dog's progressing. Up next is socialization. As you probably know, that's been a tough one for us since the beginning, since we got him right before all the lockdowns and all that, and the social distancing. But you know I'm not alone. I've talked to a lot of breeders out there, and they're telling me that when this COVID thing hit, they were just overwhelmed with requests for puppies. So I know a lot of you are trying to take advantage of this unexpected time off of work to raise a new puppy. And look, I totally get it. I totally understand why you would do that. You have a stretch of time off from work. You think, hey, this is great. I can use this time to get a new puppy and get him acclimated to things around the house. Totally understand. However, keep in mind the downside, just like I'm struggling with Arlo here, is, when you're social distancing and all that is going on, it's really hard to expose them to new experiences, new people, new animals. And that's arguably one of the most critical things about raising a Doberman. So what have we been doing to compensate for this? Well, for one, we've been visiting friends and family a lot more often lately, which has helped quite a bit. We've also been going to the dog park a lot more consistently, at least once a week. Probably, we try to do a lot more than that, but that's kind of the minimum I've given myself, because sometimes it can get tough with schedules and all that. But he's doing really great at the dog park. He's learning how to approach other dogs in not a juvenile manner, in a way that's, doesn't put him off and there's not a fight in the beginning. So he's kind of becoming one of the dog park regulars and the dog park pros there, and he's very comfortable there, which is great. I took him camping recently, actually, with family, which was a great experience. And now it wasn't one of those campsites or campgrounds out in the middle of nowhere with no one around. It was actually one of the more developed campgrounds that had just lots of families, lots of people around. Lots of people with other dogs around. We went for a whole weekend, and it was just great for Arlo because he got to see new people. They got to pet him, a lot of questions about him, and they got to talk with him. There was a dog park within walking distance, so we'd walk over there all the time. It was a really good time and very beneficial for Arlo. So we're really working hard and doubling down on the socialization thing. That's a big thing for us right now, because he's kind of reaching that age where hormones are kicking in, and it's either going to be fear and overprotectiveness, or confidence and acceptance of new situations and just kind of reasonable level of protectiveness. And we're definitely going for the latter of those two. So we're really working hard to socialize this guy as much as possible going forward. All right, are you comfortable now? Can we continue with the video? All right. Up next is training. Arlo has been doing great with his training. As you know, he got the handle of basic commands like really early on. And so I wasn't at all concerned about how he's doing understanding the commands that he needs to understand by this age. So instead, I decided to take some focus off of that because he's doing so well and move it over to leash training. We've really been doubling down on the leash training. He's doing really well at it. He's still young, energetic, and he gets distracted kind of easily, but he's very in tune with us like most Dobermans are, and I don't have a hard time getting his attention back. So there's some really good signs as far as that goes with the leash training. And of course, just like most owners out there, leash training goes way smoother after he's been exercised or goes to the dog park or something like that. But yeah, we're gonna definitely continue doubling down on that because I'm not at all concerned with how he's doing with commands. Now it's more onto the behavior trainings, including leash training. He's also been doing really well with his manners in the house. He's always been really gentle with the kids, which has been fantastic, but now he's just so consistent with it that I have no problem leaving the room and leaving him alone playing with the kids for a minute or two if I gotta go do something. He's been great. Bite inhibition has also been really good. If one of the kids put their hands in his mouth or a finger in his mouth or something like that, I don't have to worry at all. Arlo knows exactly how to behave with that, which has been excellent. He's also doing great with not jumping up on people when they come in through the door. I've been kind of experimenting around with a new technique for stopping the dog from jumping. What I do is I come through the door. It's the hands up approach. I come through the door. He wants the attention from me when I first get home. I put my hands up and I tell him to sit, and I just stand there and wait till he sits. And I'm really boring for him. I just sit there and look at him like this until he sits down, and then I pet him and give him lots of attention. That's something new I'm testing out, just kind of see how it works with Arlo. If it works good with him, I'll try it with some other dogs and we'll see how it works. But so far it's been great results with him. He's been doing awesome with that. He'll never go through a door now into the house or out of the house without stopping and waiting for us to give him the release command. We don't even have to tell him to stop at the threshold anymore. He'll just do it automatically. So that has been really, really awesome to see. He's also learning the difference between human food and his food, which is a really great thing because the kids can be munching on a snack off ground level or something like that. And I've even seen it where my kid has offered their treat to Arlo, and Arlo will just sit there and look at him and won't even touch it because he knows he's not supposed to. So that's been going amazingly well, and that's really good to not have to worry about that. Actually I did a whole video all about teaching your Doberman manners, which includes things like keeping dog food, and human food, so that you don't have these issues. And if you want to see more on that, there's a link. It should be popping up in the corner of your screen to that video. All right, let's take a minute and talk briefly about where Arlo's been struggling, and honestly, it's not with much. He's been doing really well in general. The only thing I have noticed is now that his hormones are kicking in, he's starting to bark a lot more in general, so we got to stay on top of that. We've been doing pretty good, and he's been responsive to our training attempts to kind of keep that down to a reasonable level and only bark when it's appropriate. But specifically, he loves scaring the daylights out of the pool guy when he comes over. And I haven't been around very much around the times the pool guy comes. But the other day I was home when the pool guy got here, so I asked him if I could introduce my dog to him, and he said yeah, and I brought Arlo out, we introduced him, they played a little bit and had some good interactions together. So I think that should help a little bit. I might do that a few more times and then kind of adjust my approach depending on how Arlo is reacting to that. But other than the occasional barking issue and scaring the daylights out of the pool guy, things have been going pretty good. All right, let's talk about next steps for Arlo here real quick. Like I said, we're really focusing on leash training. And one thing I've noticed is at how he's getting distracted, like I mentioned, fairly easily, which is kind of to be expected. But in order to stay on top of that, what I decided to do is start taking him to obedience classes. And I actually found some that are open right now and accepting new dogs, which is kind of a good find considering all the lockdowns and stuff. But never feel like you're too good to go to an obedience class. And I'll tell you why. Look, I trained my last Doberman. I've trained him. I've trained many other people's Dobermans for them. And I use obedience classes primarily for very specific purposes. And that is if you have a dog that's easily distracted, that needs practice focusing on their owner with lots of things going on in the background, an obedience class is a great way to do that. You have all these different dogs with different obedience levels, and I think it's a fantastic thing to do with your dog. So, I may not agree with every technique that the instructor teaches, and I may not think that's necessarily the best specifically for the Doberman breed, but Arlo needs to learn to do what I'm asking him to do, even when there's tons of distractions going on, and there's really no replacement for putting him in that environment. So that's one thing we're gonna do for sure. So besides that, the other thing we're gonna do is start transitioning him out of the dog crate into a normal dog bed at night. And when we do that, he's gonna have free roam of the house all night long. And but there's been some good signs that he's showing me that tell me that he's really ready for that. He hasn't had an accident in the house in many months now. He knows to put himself out through the dog door whenever he has to go. He does that very consistently. He knows the difference between his toys and my kids' toys. So if they leave their toys out during the night, he knows not to touch them. He's been doing really well with all that, which makes me think that he's ready for this transition. It's going to be scary, of course, that first night when we do it, but I think he's about as ready as he's going to be. So what do you think, buddy? Do you want to go into a big dog bed at night? Yeah, I know, but you got to grow up sometime. And guys, if you take a look in the description down below this video, you'll actually see links to all the videos I've done on Arlo, the update videos. I did a video all about how he was at 8 weeks when I first brought him home the first day, 15 weeks old, and I did a 6-month-old update as well. All those will be linked to down below. Take a look at those videos, and it'll give you a great idea at least how one Doberman pup is progressing. And before you go anywhere, leave a comment down below. Let me know your best advice for helping a dog develop right around this stage. I love to see it. I love when we have brainstorming sessions. It helps me out. Sometimes you guys have some really creative ideas I love to test out. It also helps other people out with their dogs. And hit that subscribe button before you go anywhere and the bell icon that comes up next to it, because you know, I love to keep helping you and your family out with your Doberman so that you guys can thrive and be successful with your dogs. So Arlo and I will see you next time. Right, buddy? We'll see you guys next time. Can you say bye? Say bye. Nope. Oh. Okay. All right. I give up. Yes, you can go up on the couch. Just break the rules this one time just for the video, all right? Going to the dog park a lot more consistently. What, you don't like, yeah, I'm sorry. Did I say dog park? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. What is this? What are you doing? Really the right way to behave as far as that goes. And he's got a lot of energy right now because we haven't gone to the dog park yet. Oh, I said the word. They don't want to see your butt the whole time. Can you turn around? Thank you.